Oh, I was muted. Hello, hi, hey everybody. That's a weird way to start a video. Hey, welcome back to Northernlion plays Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. 11 wins in a row, palindromic. Can't complain. Blue baby. The complaints start to filter in little by little. Let's get a move on here. You know what? I ain't ever scared. That's the one thing you need to know about me in this game. I do not experience the emotion known as fear. At least in video games. Except for Minecraft. Look! I know y'all grew up Google.com. How to destroy silverfish stronghold. That way, you know, you can get unlimited, I don't know, whatever silverfish drop. Probably asbestos or something like that. You gotta recognize, you know, I'm a baby boomer. My experience with Minecraft was in 2010. A good friend J Smith OTI said, hey, you should check out this game Minecraft. Me and our mutual friend Bradley have been playing it. He doesn't call himself Bradley. I call him Bradley because it annoys him. His name is just Brad, but regardless, I mean, you can't change the fact that it's, it's short for Bradley. So I started playing it, and, you know, during a period of my life where I didn't have a whole heck of a lot going on, I spent a lot of time in Minecraft just digging out cobblestone, making big old fortresses and stuff like that, and then I went to start a new life as a English as a second language teacher in South Korea. I missed out on this. I played Minecraft when it exited beta, and I went, what the heck is this green experience meter, and now I gotta eat food to survive? This game's gotten too complicated for me. So I'm not, you know, privy to all this fishing, silverfish, riding a pig, riding a spider sort of situation. You gotta cut your old bean some slack. That was meant to be the Minecraft theme, but in actuality, it's clearly that was Mr. Sandman. Bring me a dream. Why did I sing? Well, I wanted it to be an introspective moment. Hey, that's pretty good. Because it's the second time in as many episodes, or at least in as many days, that I've gotten Cursed Eye out of a question mark. Now, one of them was out of a red chest. I can forgive the game and the troll engine for giving me Cursed Eye out of a red chest. It's part of a much narrower item pool. Out of an item room where it could have been anything, boy, that's, let me just say it's a surprise. It's not actually that bad. I mean, you know, I had a friend in high school. We don't talk that much anymore. It's not entirely because of this phrase, but, you know, sometimes I did think he had a little bit of an oversimplified view of life, if I'm being honest. He would always say the expression, perception is reality. That's right. He was a proponent of the philosophical school known as myth-busting, I believe. Adam Savage, the professor emeritus. Regardless, to some extent, I think that holds true with respect to some items in Isaac. You know, there used to be a time I would deliberately pick up Cursed Eye, much to the protestation of the people watching. No, Egg, please! Don't pick up Cursed Eye, it's bad. I don't believe you. Now I believe you. And perhaps that has led me to have the perception that my run is going to be worse as a result of picking it up. I hope that that's not the case. I'll work actively to fight against it. Maybe it's the placebo effect. Maybe the effect is, you know, by being aware of the fact that there's a dampening on my play by the quality or perceived quality of an item, I play worse as a result. And maybe being aware of the fact that there's no evidence-based situation for that, I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? I want to open with an anecdote about me walking into that fire and being a big old dummy. No, let's go to the item room first. I woke up this morning to something that has never happened to me before. And it's not TMI. If you think this is TMI, okay, grow up. I mean that sincerely. I woke up with a small blood stain on my t-shirt. I sleep in a t-shirt. You know, we can get into that discussion later. I'm a t-shirt and underwear sort of guy when it comes to sleeping. You know what? I guess we can get in that discussion right now. And I said, that's weird. I don't remember being killed in my sleep. So, you know, my first thought genuinely was that sometime over the night, my right nipple had exploded. So I you know, took off my shirt and I looked in the mirror and I realized what had actually happened is I had, I guess, a zit. I didn't even know you could get a pimple on your nipple. But, yeah, it was right there on, like, the tippy tip of it. And, I guess it had rubbed against my shirt overnight and, exploded. Of course, this is like the one night I wore a white t-shirt to bed, which now bears like a pretty cool battle scar. Now I can wear that to the gym. People will be like, whoa, this guy, he must have gotten into like some blood sport. Yeah, dude. I was watching Ken Burns' serial documentary about the conquest of the American West, and things got real heated in my sleep, apparently. Just one of the... And I don't, you know, people that always talk about, oh, the joys of growing older. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just surprising to me. It's never happened to me before in my life. If I had to guess, I probably would have expected that it never would have happened to me in my life, but here we are. Okay, so now we can fly. Let's use our brain. What's the end of that story? I mean, there isn't... What do you want me to... So I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me I needed a nipple transplant? That seems like... You know, there's no real end to the story. It just is what it is. And it can happen to you, too. There's the moral of the story. I Am Error just gave us the pact. Please don't teleport yourself out of this room, you fool. So I don't necessarily want to, or feel the need to complete this room. But I feel like, you know, if I could snag the money at least, that would be... a wise choice. And yeah, that was worth it, I think, for the luck upgrade. And then we'll get the heck out of town. That was actually a really, really good return on our investment there. That's the end of my anecdote there. Tinted Rock. Stats are okay. Cursed Eye always puts a weird little damper on things for sure, but... Thank God, by the way, that I don't sleep naked. Not because I would have gotten blood on the sheets, but because I would have gotten blood on the sheets and then had to change them. As far as chores go, you know, we wash our sheets. But it is one of my least favorite chores to do, to be honest. Like, the laundering part is whatever. But then the act of, like, you know, making sure that it fits properly and stretching it out over the course of the entire bed. I just consider, like, out of all chores... making the bed, and I'm willing to, as always I should mention, I'm willing to be, you know, bed-splained here. Laundry, so important, you need clean clothes. Doing the dishes, so important, you need clean dishes to eat off of. Vacuuming, you don't want like a dusty floor, you know, we start to get into the chores that I would consider like A importance instead of S importance, but still. You know, these are important. You don't do them every single day, but you want to do them on the regular. Same, you know, like cleaning your bathroom, cleaning the toilet, etc., etc. Then we get into stuff where I'm like, you know, dusting. I'm like, at that point, that's like a C priority. I'm like, you know, maybe a couple times a year go around and dust, but, you know, trying to control dust, that's like something I think you can only do if you're like a full-time housekeeper. It just doesn't make sense to me to have a dustless house. You know, what are you going to control the shedding of dead skin from yourself and your, you know, pets? Anyway, making the bed, I actually literally consider like an F-tier chore. And I'll explain to you why in two reasons. And there's a reason that it's going to be segmented into two reasons. The first one is that the only thing it does is make things look nicer. And I will admit, it does make your bed look nicer. On a certain level, a made bed looks better than an unmade bed. So, but NL, what's the difference? You know, doesn't, you know, cleaning your toilet just makes it look better. You know, cleaning your shower just makes it look better. Maybe even vacuuming just makes it look better. Okay, you have some point there that I would probably disagree with. Because here's the thing. Unless you have dried fecal matter on your bed, can't really compare making a bed to cleaning a toilet in my personal opinion. But, you know, we can agree to disagree. The reason making your bed is a worse chore than any of those, at least in terms of urgency and requirement, is because in order to use the bed, you have to unmake it. So it's literally a chore where you yourself make something clean. And I'm going to leave just because I don't want to do this floor with the whole map not being active. It's a chore that you yourself undo, essentially, like, you know, mere hours after you do it the first time. Nobody goes, hey, you know, I vacuumed. Yeah, just throw all your garbage on the floor. Who cares? You know, shake out a bag of potato chips down there. You know, people, if anything, you know, the more clean it is, the more likely you are to clean it in the future, or to keep it clean. You ever have that? Like when your apartment looks like garbage, it's so dirty, you're like, I don't care, just leave some, you know, old newspapers around or something like that. Sorry, I get all my knowledge here from watching Hoarders. But then after you clean it, you're like, hey, you know, why are you breathing so weird over here? Can you, if you're gonna breathe weird like that, can you go to the bathroom? I just cleaned this place. The bed is like, hey, I just made my bed. Boy, can't wait to unmake that later tonight. It's just like giving yourself, it's idly wasting some of your time. Now, I actually understand, like in the military, you have to make your bed. Why? Well, first off, I suppose if you're sleeping in a room with like 20 other people, probably, you know, it's nice that all the beds are made. It looks a little bit more proper and put together. Another, element, I would say, is the element of, like, compliance, is that you make your bed because they told you to make your bed. And, you know, I'm not trying to, like, dismantle the psychology of the military complex. All I'm gonna say about it is that, you know, it's probably one of those little tasks that the military gives you, I imagine, and is like, you know, get used to doing stuff that we tell you to do because that's your job now until you're discharged. And that's fine. Then the third thing is that I actually think if there's a benefit, you know, the benefit to doing the dishes, you got clean dishes. Benefit to doing the laundry, you got clean clothes. The benefit to making your bed, I really think, is that if you make your bed as soon as you wake up, you do get in the mode of doing something productive. It's part of, I don't have much of a personal philosophy or beliefs. But I do think something that has you, like, doing a task early on upon waking up is a very sensible thing to... If you have problems with procrastination, I could see how it would be helpful, is all I'm going to say upon that subject right there. You know, I try to make sure... I used to be, you know, I'm a slow starter, but I, you know, burn the midnight oil. I'm no longer like that. Now I like to... You know, I still don't wake up that early. Forgot what our trinket was. Before you gulp, you should get like a 3-second warning. Where it goes like, hey, you're about to swallow this trinket. You can't stop it, but at least look at what it is. Or maybe you should have like an internal inventory or something like that. That'd be cool. I guess my earlier solution was very inelegant. But anyway. Something that gets you in the mode of doing something productive can be valuable. Because I feel the same thing, you know, on my day off. Sometimes I just actually legitimately like to do some housework. For real. And it's gonna sound, perhaps... I mean, I don't think it sounds that unrelatable. I think everybody, you know, I'm not exactly like the most domestically clean person on the planet. But still, you know, the thing is, the hardest step to take when it comes to doing chores is the first step. But if you do the dishes, because the dishes are dirty and you're like, ah, fine, I'll do the dishes. Then, once you finish the dishes, you're like, oh, you know, like the stove top is dirty. So you know, you pull the range off, and then you say, what do you do to the range? You know, you clean the stove top, and then you go, well, I've already got, like, you know, rubber gloves on. I might as well clean the bathroom as well. And then you clean the bathroom, and you go, you know, you just, it's infectious, because you're like, you know, when everything's dirty, you're like, my apartment's dirty. As soon as you clean one thing, you're like, ah, my apartment's still dirty. I gotta clean this whole thing in order to get the benefit of the first chore that I did in the first place, which I think is a good thing. And I think it's true about life in general. I think, like, if you start your day and you kind of have, like, no... I mean, I think I've had almost word for word this exact conversation earlier. And what it ends up being is I always come back to this piece of reasoning that I really, and I don't believe in these pithy one-liners that much, but I really like this one. I forget the name of the quote-unquote principle or whatever, but it's the length of time it takes to complete a task. By the way, definitely should have teleported on that floor. Sorry, I got distracted. The length of time it takes to complete a task scales to fill the length of time that has been allotted to finish the task. That might sound self-evident, but here's what I mean. You ever have this situation, you know, you're homesick from school? Your mom goes, hey, at some point today, please take, you know, the chicken out of the freezer so I can cook the chicken for dinner tonight. And then, how long does that task take to complete? Seconds. Minutes at most, depending on the breadth of your domicile. And I don't know how much you got in your freezer, I guess. You got a lifetime Costco membership? You bulk buying son of a gun? Sorry, I've been working on my Vince Vaughn impression. I've had this situation many times in my teenage years. And, you know, mom leaves, and you're like, well, you know, she gave me one task. I'm homesick. I don't have to do that task right away. I mean, come on, I got the whole day. I'm feeling lazy right now. I'm not going to do it. And then, you know, you go to get a snack. The freezer's right there, but you're like, yeah, I don't really want to get my hands cold right now. You know, I'll do it later. I don't have to. She doesn't come back from work until 4:30. Why would I do it now? And there's all this unpaid, you know, labor that she's getting the benefit of. You don't actually think that. I'm just saying, like, you know, the deadline's not for, you know, 6 hours. You know, you don't get any prizes for finishing early. And then your mom comes home, and, you know, you've been playing 4.5 hours of Halo 2. And she's like, hey, did you take the chicken out of the freezer? And you're like, oh, yikes. Bet you think I'm a real piece of garbage for not accomplishing, like, literally the world's simplest task while you were away at work, you know, earning the money you used to pay for the groceries and stuff. And she's like, no, but, like, in her head, she's like, kind of, where did I go wrong? That's what I mean, you know? If you have... I don't necessarily believe in the expression, idle hands are the devil's plaything. All I'll say is that I think, you know, the busier you make yourself, even if it is artificially, the more you're going to get done. And I think when you phrase it like that, it kind of comes across as obvious. And I think that in this case, that obviousness is a good thing. You know, if you... and that's kind of why, like, and, you know, I'm getting a little preachy here for somebody who's been working out for, like, 3 weeks. But it's why I like going to the gym in the morning. I used to be a go to the gym late at night kind of guy. And there's benefits there, particularly with respect to the amount of traffic in the gymnasium. However, you know, if you don't have anything else going on in the day, I think I end up spending your time. It's not that being idle is bad, like you're hurting society. You know, sometimes I think being inactive is a very good thing. You know, if you're super stressed out, you need time to recharge. You know, you should actively, like, allot that time in your life. But also sometimes, you know, I think being inactive can be like a habit that can be destructive. And if you actually examined it, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to look back and be like, man, I wish I, you know, maybe instead of having spent the whole day playing Smash, I could have just, like, done a few things that actually would have made my life a little easier in the future, and then still had time to play like a few hours of Smash at the end of the tail end of it, you know? When I was leaving the gym till, like, you know, late at night, I would get it done, but I would, you know, procrastinate up till that point. Now in the morning, I'm like, you know, I have a cup of coffee, head down to the gym, work out, and then when I come back, I'm like, you know what? I'm already, like, active. I'm in the mood to, like, you know, get my other work done as quickly as possible. So that's the nicest thing I'll say about making your bed, is that if making your bed helps you get in that active mindset early in the morning, then maybe it's not as useless of a chore as I'd originally considered. So we are one guppy item away. It's a bummer, dude, because we were 0 guppy items away if we had chosen... Alright. If we had chosen to take Guppy's collar when it showed up earlier, but, I mean, I'm still also sort of glad we just didn't. Okay. Ooh, that was real close. Excuse me, where's my bone heart being filled up? I don't think we've been to secret rooms or anything. We've kind of gotten, I don't want to say screwed, but we've gotten unlucky with our curses on this floor, and then I haven't taken advantage of Golden Teleporter, on this run I should say. I haven't taken advantage of Golden Teleporter in every situation where it's been available either, and that's on me. You know, I'll take a Cursed Eye Hemolacria just to get weird, man. Alrighty. I knew it was gonna take a while to charge up, so I was like, I'll just get over here. And then, still got tagged. Still took forever to charge up. Hemolacria doesn't seem bad, by the way. It does seem like we're gonna teleport more frequently because it takes way longer to charge up now, but the DPS seems fine. Anyway, you know me. I'm not a self-helpy sort of guy. I'm not a preachy sort of guy. Try not to be, at least. And I find, you know, I think the reason for that is because of the number of times I've seen, you know, people, both friends and strangers, they're like, you know, Tuesday, they're like, I've been thinking about trying this kombucha thing. Yeah, okay, cool, let me know how it is. And then like 3 days later, they're like, I had a sniff of kombucha, and I'm telling you, my skin has never been so clear in my whole life. You know, people, I think, and I would lump myself into this category for sure. I have to actively fight back against this influence. You know, they have a tendency to get a little bit too easily enamored with things without, you know, waiting to see the long tail, if there's actually consistent, you know, provable benefits to mental, physical health, etc., etc. Also, I get annoyed because I know people are like, you know, ads are based on your browsing history, but the only ad I get on Facebook is dudes who borrowed their father's suits and recorded a video with like their cell phone that's like, I'll teach, I used to be a wage slave just like you. Now I make, you know, $35,000 a month working from home, and I'll teach you the step in my $10 ebook that, and I'm like, dude, you're like 17. I know you're just gonna talk about, like, you know, drop shipping. You're gonna talk about buying cheap stuff on Amazon, putting a new label on it, and then selling it back. You know, you don't need to lecture me on this stuff. Please, I want you to save your money. Find more saps. You don't need to waste. Just give me ads for, like, I don't know, Dempster's bread or something like that. I don't need this. I already found my joke of a dream job. Okay? I don't need this one that actively pulls value out of society. No offense if you're into that sort of thing. Please, we got him. So that's why I think I bring it up from time to time, okay? That's the only reason I'm going to say that. That, and, you know, I have been going to the physical bookstores in Vancouver a little bit, looking for, I mean, I don't know, looking for inspiration, I guess, you know? I'm taking a semester off from school. I should be doing more programming. I'm not. Need a motivation for a personal project. You know, motivation comes and goes. I know I'm going to go back to school in the summer semester, so I'm kind of just enjoying the first semester I've taken off since like 2015. I've been doing 3 semesters a year since April 2015. But I do feel a little guilty, so I'm like, sometimes I'd head down to the bookstore, but, you know, none of the bookstores in town. I mean, if I really wanted to buy something, I could just do it on Amazon in like 2 seconds. No offense to the local bookstores, you know, but if you want to buy like a specific reference manual, most of the time they have got like, you know, Ruby on Rails for dummies, and that's cool, but I don't really want to learn Ruby on Rails. What I want is something that, you know, will, like an intermediate to advanced level book, but it's not really what those bookstores exist for, you know? Hello, Ruka. Hello, Ruka. Hello, Ruka. You want to come in, buddy? Ruka. He wants to come in. Hello, my son. You get tired of sleeping on top of the clean folded laundry? I know, it smells good, right? That's that Tide Pod advantage, my dude. Please. Dun, 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 dun. Mr. Shopman, give me batteries, give me batteries, give me the batteries that I could believe. Because we can get a curse room, I think, with our next battery charge. Alright, so the next step would be, am I willing to trade 2 spirit hearts for access to a battery charge? The answer to that question should be no, but is yes. So let me find some spikes. Ruka, you can't be there. My dude wants to spend all day on the desk. Why the desk, buddy? I don't know, I guess this is close to me, reminds you of what it was like when you were a younger kitten and you could fit up here without being a nuisance. I understand. Now, we could try to get to the error room, but I don't think that's worth it. I mean, truth be told, I don't even know if Gimpy was worth it, right, Ruka? So I don't know if we're actually going to use Golden Teleporter that much anymore. I think we're kind of... I wouldn't say that we're in a bad position. I don't believe that, but... We're in the kind of position where instead of thinking about the meme, you know, we should be thinking about how to survive this run. Shouldn't have taken that, but it's okay. Oh my god, I'm too fast now. Normally, I probably would think about taking Sack Dagger. It's just a little bit too dicey with our existing HP. Personal opinion on that one. Alright. So again, I don't think we're going to use Golden Teleporter anymore. Did it serve its purpose? No. And I'll be 100% straight up with you. It's entirely my own faults. We squandered the opportunity. Still got, you know, that one room was really good. That one error room. Just scouting for tinted rocks. It's possible one of these might be one. Just kind of like occluded by an earlier, by a different rock, I should say. Oh, I am, well, moving slightly backwards. Or is it forwards, but in the opposite direction in this case? Who knows? Ruka, you shouldn't look at the screen that closely, okay? I don't know if there's discernible empirical evidence that looking at the screen this closely is actually bad for your eyes, but I do know that, I mean, I don't think it's going to rot your brain, but I think that being this close to a light source, you know, and staring into it possibly could have adverse effects on, you know, your macular health as you get older. I don't think it's a wise idea. I mean, it's flattering, you know, that you know, despite hearing me talk all the time, still want to watch the video and hear me talk simultaneously. It's like my cat is implicitly going like, I want to see what all the fuss is about. There's no fuss. At least not until the DLC comes out. Then I'm eager for all the comments. Hey, I used to watch this guy in middle school. He's still around making Isaac episodes? Wow. My life has changed drastically and he's still in the same spot. Weird how that works out. It could happen to you, okay? It could happen to you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, by the way. Nope. I totally forgot. We should have been using projectile shield like crazy here. Just want to see if maybe you got some HP for me. Ruka! You know you're not supposed to be on the desk, my son. Here. As soon as this judgment pays out, this is your timer, okay? I have to take you down and put you in the box. Thank you. I do want the HP. Why? You know what? That's a good question. Alright, my son. It's time to go down. Hey! You know, you could make this a little easier on me, to be honest. What's wrong with the box? You love the box. You know I don't speak Spanish. Mostly, I don't want them on the desk for two reasons. One is the prevalence of cat fur, you know, right next to, not just next to me, but next to, like, the keyboard and the electronics. They get a lot dirtier as a result. The other one is that, excuse me, my boy. By jumping up on the desk, you know, I got a full cup of water here. I got an old protein shake from just before the stream. I would rather he didn't knock this stuff over, potentially risk it. I can't remember if I told this story before, but the first time, I must have. The first time I was on the Co-Optional podcast, you know, we got the 3-minute warning. That's like, you know, TB was like, I'm going live. You guys can talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes and Ruka! I'll give you the signal. I'll give you the signal that, you know, where mics are hot and you're good to talk. And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I was a little nervous. I was a younger man, and I was on, you know, what is the biggest podcast within, like, my purview, I suppose, on the platform. And, you know, I'm just trying to make small talk conversation. Haha, you guys like Fred Durst? And then, Tomo jumped up on my desk, and I had a full, huge mug of coffee. I'll try Sack Alter here just for S's and G's. Yeah, sure. I mean, mostly Pentagram is the big one there. Tomo jumped up on my desk, put his leg in the coffee cup. It was hot, so he freaked out, kicked, knocked the coffee cup off of my desk. It shattered on the ground and sent coffee like flying up into my face. It put coffee on the wall, literally. Like, Kate was away, she was doing auditions for post-grad. And when she came back, I cleaned it, by the way. And when she came back, she's like, why is there a stain on the wall here? And I was like, well, you're not going to believe this one. So, you know, I got real desk-related, not phobias necessarily, but, you know, desk-related concerns from a feline capacity. Why not just not have, and I say this just because there's probably one 13-year-old kid watching that's like, well, why not just not have drinks on your desk? Bro, you're in for a long life. Go to any office on planet Earth, okay? I promise you. I say this because the adults were having a more meaningful conversation. Any office on planet Earth, you're going to see desks. On those desks, you're going to see mugs. In those mugs, any variety of substances to help the adults get through the banality of the day, you know, do the requisite functions that are necessary and compulsory in order to keep this wide world of ours functioning in an appropriate fashion. And also, you know, drive profit for the person who happens to own the building that they're laboring in. But that's a different story for another day. Who? It's actually kind of a difficult fight. And believe it or not, I find myself feeling a little bit remiss. You know, losing my two familiars is one thing. And with BFF, you know, we probably shouldn't have done it, but Sack... No! Sack Alter is like, it's new hotness, right? It's interesting. But I'm really actually disappointed I didn't take Sack Dagger, which, actually would make this very easy to just hold a charge and then finish the fight. Maybe lose a spirit heart or two. I'm also very disappointed, and I hate that I have to say it, okay? I'm disappointed I picked up Hemolacria. It's not necessarily a bad item. You know, there are some situations in which it's pretty good. But there's enough situations, like very rarely are there's a handful at most of items in Isaac where after you pick them up, it's like a dice roll. Like, hey, is my run garbage now? And like, sadly, this time, I mean, if you were to just go back to our old tier, like our old rate of fire, you would probably be much happier. Probably we have slightly better room clearing potential, but like, this is pretty substandard. We're still gonna win. Well, we're gonna defeat this run. Will we win? I do not know. I kind of dropped the ball with Golden Teleporter on this run. I'll carry that with me for the rest of my natural life. Hopefully, Ruka, hopefully, we'll get some good items here. Carry us to greatness. With relative ease. I don't know if I even need to... Let's just see if this even does anything at this point. Oh, Lord. Hey, this has probably been touched upon by hundreds of people at this point. If not thousands. I watched the Donkey rap last night. You know, the rap from Donkey Kong 64's title screen. Still my favorite line is when They say, he can pick up a boulder with relative ease. Because it's just such a human line, ironically enough. He doesn't pick up a boulder easily. That would be a remarkable feat of strength. I mean, they have competitions on ESPN 6 about that. But what he can do is pick up a boulder relatively easy compared to the population at large. I still think picking up a boulder with relative ease is, you know, you're struggling a little bit. You're going, and then the announcers are going, Magnus Svensson? Magnus Svensson? Anyway. See, there's a joke about the Nordic culture of strongmen. That's a joke that needs a little bit of an annotation. Perhaps. Don't you cause damage to me. Why? Why would I do this? I'm actually, like, I can feel my will to live on this run being sapped from me slowly. And again, it's not actually, like, that bad. It's just kind of, like, substantially worse than it should be. Here, just be more mature about it. Like, get over it. Yeah, you made some mistakes, particularly with the way that we chose to, with the items we chose to interface with here, and that's okay, you know? We'll grow from it, just get this win 12, put it in the books, and you're good to go. I still think it's a great line, though. Can pick up a boulder with relative ease. It doesn't even matter what comes next. Because they've already established, you know what? If you said he can easily pick up a boulder, I would be like, I don't believe you. If you say he can pick up a boulder with relative ease, I'm like, you know what? That's a nuanced approach to boasting. So I do believe you. I do believe that he can pick up a boulder. And I believe that he can do so in a way that, you know, is symbolic of having a little bit less trouble with it than the average person. Or Kong, I suppose. He's quick and nimble, and quick and nimble, and... No. We really, like, every Spirit Heart we lose is a precious punishment right here. It's a self-flagellation. See, if you could just not ever teleport, I really, truly believe our DPS output is not that bad. It's not good. It's not that bad. If you just stand still, they might not know you're here. I don't think we can teleport anymore either. I mean, we can use Golden Teleporter, but it kind of sucks in this situation. But I don't think Cursed Eye will actually do anything, which is probably good, except for that rare time you manage to teleport, like, directly to or adjacent to the boss room. I gotta tell you, man, I love Isaac. I really do. It's an enduring, deep, long-lasting, consistent, mature love. And I know that that's a comical statement, but I do mean that, you know? Warts and all. I love this game. There are few worse feelings than kind of hampering your own run and then consistently hitting dead end after dead end on the final floor. It's like, I mean, the worst feelings are doing the exact same thing but being on the void. That's a worse feeling. Or accidentally going down the hush with 9 lives and no HP. That's a bad one too. But this one, it's also blood pressure starting to rise in a way that is unbecoming of a professional adult such as myself, I'll admit. Still, we're gonna make it through. I can tell you that with authority. I forgot we had Gimpy. I think it's only paid out with 1 Spirit Heart so far, but, you know, could take us there. We have 2 luck. I'm not saying you have to give us anything, game. I mean, there's definitely been a good run on this run that I wouldn't say squandered, but I haven't done the best job of capturing the value that's existed. No doubt. However, if you could just give me literally any orbital, I'll do it, dude. Any orbital in the game. I'll make it happen. With relative ease, no less. Okay, Gotta take out the Ragman first. It's fine, you know, like we've had I've mentioned it, but the 12 wins we kind of put up here, we did go through a period of, you know, maybe like a week or so of Isaac of being real spotty. On, off, you know. We're doing a lot better now. 12 wins in a row, assuming we get this one. It's a very minor milestone, but it's a milestone nonetheless. And a lot of those runs have been on the easy side. So I think that, you know, having a run that reminds me, hey, you know, if you're going to do good stuff, it's probably going to take you, you know, you're going to have the occasional run that's going to throw you for a lupus. Sounds fine by me, you know? All we're going to do is be patient and recognize that, again, it's substantially faster to just win this run instead of getting impatient than it would be to lose this run for dumb, impatient reasons, throwing your HP away, and then try to get another 11 wins in the future. So we're looking real solid here. Basic, borderline unkillable, assuming we can't teleport, I think. The run actually, towards the end, you've won me over. Okay, never mind. Let's do this. And I guess this is one of the real, actual good values of Marked, is if you're fighting an enemy that largely stays in the same place, it actually does open up our dodging quite a lot without actually compromising our ability to hit the enemy. Because, like, by definition, you know, frame by frame, the shots will go where the enemy is. We do have to reposition it on occasion, but rarely. With relative rarity. We've done it, I think. Mere moments from now. There are those who said it couldn't be done. Thank you for not accidentally putting me in a void portal. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps us a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya next time. See ya.